G'day guys, welcome to today's monochromatic layout. Today's colour is orange. Now I am trying to do a monochromatic layout once a week, and this week it happens to fall in line with Crazy Craft Obsessions monthly monochromatic layout. So instead of me picking a colour this week, Cass has already picked one and it's orange. So I'm getting organised here, don't mind me. Now, what I'm using, you saw that there were some flowers there. I have already pre-fussy cut those. I didn't fussy cut those on my channel, on video, because, well, that's boring. Now, this is my MARTE modelling paste. It's a white, really bright white, and it's glossy. It's not a matte finish. Now I'm using, in my little containers there, they are my Distress watercolour pencil shavings in those, and that's what I'm using to colour my modelling paste. I used the colours Rusty Hinge and Crackling Campfire to get the orange that goes quite well with the 49th and Market Spectrum Sherbet Solids, and this one is the orange one. And I'm just using a cheap and cheerful 6x6 stencil that I got from, I don't even think it's 6x6. It was a cheap one that I bought ages ago, but I do like a couple of the flowers that are on it, so I figured, we'll see. Let's see what it looks like. So I wanted to add some texture into the background, and this particular layout, I'm going sort of straight up and down pretty much. That's kind of where my brain's going with this layout. I'm playing around with a few different layout structures, I suppose you'd call it. So now I'm just adding a little bit more Crackling Campfire just to make it a bit more of a brighter sort of burnt orange. So, and I'm mixing this on, when you get the Distress watercolor pencils, they come with this plastic, thick acrylic plastic cover, which you can keep with the pencils obviously, but what I've actually done is I've removed them, and I normally use just packaging when I do this sort of thing, so then I can just throw it straight in the bin. But I knew that I wanted to mix a fair bit of the modelling paste and add different colours to it. So I decided to use the plastic, and then that way I can clean it off and see how it works for me. And it works a treat. It is awesome. And I cleaned it off, did take a little bit of water, but that's okay because it was quite a warm day here today, although a lot cooler than it has been. We do have a cyclone building off the coast of Queensland at the moment, so the breeze has been wonderful, but with breeze will come chaos later in the week, no doubt. So now what I'm doing, so these are from the Cocoa Vanilla Studio These Days collection, and these are these were all on one sheet, and I just sat and fussy cut them. And quite often on a Monday morning I like to sit and just do a little bit of fussy cutting to get back in the groove, you know what I'm doing. And although I did a live yesterday for like 3.5 hours, so it's not like I haven't done any scrapping for a while, but that's okay. So what I'm doing with this, and this is something I wanted to draw to your attention, just because these flowers are currently, they're more sort of they're leaning more towards a sort of dusty pink. So I've just grabbed out my Distress inks. Now, not my oxides, and there's a reason for that. The reason I pulled out the Distress inks is because they're translucent. You can see through them. And because I didn't want to actually lose the stamens and the centerpieces of these flowers, I wanted them to remain there. But I wanted to, because I'm doing a monochromatic layout, I wanted to actually use these flowers because I like them. They're nice and simple. This is the sort of thing I like to fussy cut because it's a simple thing that you can just stack and build on. So I've gone around and I've used the colors that I used to adjust, in air quotes, the color that I've decided to adjust them to. I've used Rusty Hinge and Wild Honey. I did try a tiny little bit of persimmon, but I think it was way too orange for the layout. So because the 49th and Market Orange has quite a distressed look to it, that's why I sort of stuck with the Rusty Hinge and that more grungy sort of look. And I think it changed the colours beautifully. All I used was my finger daubers. I didn't sort of worry about getting brushes out or anything like that, because, you know, you've got to be sort of delicate with it. And they took the colour beautifully. You can still see all the white lines through the flowers. Obviously they've tinted to the yellow, or the orange, or the Rusty Hinge, whichever colour I'm using on it at the time. Yes, it's tinted, but you can still see the lines there. So they sort of look more like a highlight, which is really good. Now, okay, so this is where I grabbed just the teeny tiniest bit. See how I just used it in the middle, and it's quite orange, but in these really big flowers, I figured I could probably pull that off just on the really big ones. So I did that, and I'm just trying to just put the tiniest bit of orange, just so it's not leaning towards the yellows. You know, I'm being super pedantic, trying to make sure this is definitely orange. It's orange. It's not yellow, it's orange. So, yeah, so that worked a treat. I was really happy with these results. So if you've got any of these flowers and you want to make them a different color, obviously I didn't use the leaves. Okay, I didn't use the leaves because I kept them though, because I will use them on another layout. But because they're green, you obviously can't make green and orange, you're going to get brown. So it's not going to work. So I just did the flowers, just the florals. And then, yeah, so they come together. I was covered in ink, mind you, because I was using my fingers. I'm actually considering getting, you know, those little finger covers. You can get them. I used to have them years ago. Don't even ask why. But, yeah, they're really, really good. I saw them the other week and I thought, oh, I might get myself some of those. Because when I do stuff like that, I hate getting the ink on my fingers, because then it's usually I've used yellow or orange, and people probably think I smoke when I leave the house. But I don't. I truly don't. It's just ink. So I raised my photos up. Now the photos that I'm scrapping here are it's an acai bowl and the most amazing beef brisket toasted sandwich. This place is called Grind and Graze. What's it called? Grind and Graze Co. at Woodford. So if you live in Southeast Queensland, this place, holy moly, it makes the best food. And I think I've actually done a layout using photos from them before when we took Dell up there, and I absolutely love the food, and it's so good. So it just, in my opinion, it justifies a layout. Totally worth it. So you can see what I did there. I literally just scattered the flowers, tucked little bits in here and there, and created a nice sort of organic fall of flowers from top to bottom in and around the photos. So, and I even do my title a little bit differently on this one as well. It's not a way that I normally would do it. Sorry, this is like my third voiceover. I have to have a drink. Sorry about that. Oh, ice cold water. How good is that? Now, okay, so I'm just trying to make sure I've got everything glued down. Now I'm looking at it, I wish I had have sort of put maybe one more flower up the very top there. But that's okay. It's all right. it's all good. We're not finished yet. So I've gone through my little collection of sprinkly bits, and I found I don't always use sequins, a lot of sequins, but I thought orange sequins, I know I have some of that, just to add the metallic sparkle to my layout. I always like to have, if you're new to my channel, how you doing? I hope you're still with me. Something that I really like to do is I like to have some sort of sparkle on my page, whether that is reflection from something clear, whether that is metallic paint or sequins, clear beads, glitter, all of those things. I try and include something along those lines on pretty much all of my layouts. I like to have a little bit of bling in there. That's what I'm going through at the moment. And so this is where I'm adding I can't find my little white pencil. I got this little white pencil the other day, and it is so good for picking. It's a wax pencil, and it's absolutely amazing. And I've put it somewhere. You know that magic spot? I've put it there, and now I can't find it. So I had to go back to my big pointy wax one. It'll show up, don't worry. And yeah, so now what I'm going through and doing is I'm using these are clear domes that I bought in a pack, and they came with 4 different sizes. So I've separated the 4 different sizes out of the one pack into separate containers, and I'm adding those. Now these are going to be my shine and reflection, as well as the bits of sequins on my page. So that's when I decide I'm popping these into the centers of the flowers because they look like dewdrops. That's what they look like to me anyway. So I'm adding those on, but then I also add some out further on the layout. So when I say out further, around the outside edges. See where I'm tapping now? I was a bit ahead of myself then. So these are teeny tiny ones, and they just add, the art glitter glue dries crystal clear, and they just sort of mesmerize you when you look at the page, and bam, they're there. So I love doing that. I love those things. They're beautiful. And then what I decide to pull out is my Amy Tangerine. These are called Remarks lettering stickers, and I love these stickers, but I've hoarded them forever, and I should never have done that, because now I genuinely love these stickers. I wish that they would bring out more of these in bright colors, because they're so pretty, and you can create a nice long title with them. I absolutely love them. So in the spirit of doing a layout in orange, I'm using the orange ones, and I am creating a long title, but something different for me. I don't often create a title that runs up the side of a layout. So I decided today that we would do that, and yeah, I did have to MacGyver one letter, which, is one of those things that I had to do. Don't mind me. I'm checking how to spell grays. Do you ever have one of those blank moments where you go, how do you spell that? I couldn't work out if it had an I in it or not. And apparently the Aussie version is without an I, but there is a grays. I think it's US, it said that they put an I in it. So I'm like, rightio, no I for me. I don't know why, but I had this feeling that it had an I. So that's what I was doing on my phone. And I'm just adding this on. Now it's very, very soon I realise that I'm one letter short, which is really annoying, because there's the D that I used. That was my last D, and I needed just one more D. So I've never been one to MacGyver letters. If I can't do it, all with the proper letters. I don't normally, I've never been one to MacGyver letters and Frankenstein it. I've never done that, but I've weakened a little bit. I have simmered a little bit, and I've seen a lot of other people do it, and I thought, you know what? What's good for the goose is good for the gander, and I am going to give it a crack and see if I can do it. Now, this deep, now it does take me a little bit to get this sorted out, because I thought, all right, I'll get that bit, and then I'll get this bit, and I'll MacGyver it around here. So it's okay. It's not the best. See how the bit of the D overlaps a little bit, but it was already down, and because these letters are sort of more, they're like a clear acetate letter, I didn't want to try and lift it up because I didn't have any more, of them. That's okay. All right, so I'm just running around the outside edge now with a little bit of rusty hinge, just to give me a bit more of a defined border. I was going to mount this on white, but I went, no, we're going to orange all the way. And that is my layout, guys. What do you think? Do you think I pulled that one off? I hope you are still with me. This is only a 17-minute one, but this is what my layout looks. Check out that D. It's not too bad for a Frankenstein. It's not too bad at all. So you can see how the clear domes just reflect, and that's my reflecting bit of shine on my page. So check out that toasty. Man, don't you just want one of them? I could go one of those acai bowls. Yum. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe, like, or leave me a comment. I love reading my comments. And this is pretty much it. So thanks so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate each and every one of you. And don't forget, guys, when we hit 1,500 subscribers, we're having a giveaway. And you want to be a part of it. Trust me. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.